It's a good day. The results in the BC election are promising. They're really good because the West Coast, British Columbia, is like the left-wing hive mind headquarters of our country. And to break through the armor of that is really, really something significant. And if you don't believe me, just look around at all the people crying and whinging about how this is a threat to democracy, that people who do not want to pay more taxes to the sky to prevent the rain are a threat to us, and that we should have a license, among other things, for voting. Yes, there was a comment on a subreddit post I was reading in the BC subreddit that said that there should be licenses for voting because people are too stupid to choose the right candidate, I guess. But, you know, we can't present ID to vote, whatever. But this is amazing. This is a good result. Dave Eby of the BC NDP, and by the way, Eby, what kind of a name is that? Did his parents run out of letters? Like, were they trying to name him eBay? Because is that why he's so adverse to capitalism and he's basically a communist, a socialist in the NDP? Nonetheless, the wall of left-wing wokeism has been broken in British Columbia. This is a close result. The BC NDP look like they're going to squeak out a minority government with 46 seats, and the Conservatives are probably going to get 45. The BC Conservatives, brand new party under John Rustad, did really good. And a lot of the candidates in BC Conservatives believe in Freedom Convoy, in, again, not paying taxes to the sky to stop the weather. They believe in some common sense values, and it's really freaking out the far left. And I think that's really funny. It's something that we should laugh about. There's a lot of misery in the world. There's a lot of soullessness. There's a lot of soul-crushing things. So anytime you can have a little bit of a pick-me-up, that's something to be savored and enjoyed. And I really think this is an entertaining result. I know that the BC Conservatives and the BC NDP, both of them don't have a clear governing mandate, so the BC NDP are going to form some sort of a coalition with the two Green Party people who are going to be elected. And by the way, the leader of the BC Greens lost their seat. I don't know her name off the top of my head, but she lost her seat, and that's really funny too. So a lot of funny results here. Again, the popular vote split between the NDP and the BC Conservatives are like 1 percentage point. It's 44.6% right now for the BC NDP and 43.6% for the Conservative Party. Again, 46 seats leading for the NDP and then 45 seats for the BC Conservatives. This is great. Just look around. By the way, before you go and enjoy some of these rage posts, just note that you're going to exceed your daily allowed amount of sodium. So please take caution. If you have high blood pressure, if you have any other disorder, before you go and enjoy some of these Reddit posts, it's so salty. They're so mad that they are not getting what they want, that they're not getting this undefeatable majority in their woke capital of Canada. They're mad that there's a crack in the case, and they realize this is a huge defeat to wokeism and to the left in Canada, and it should signal alarm bells, five alarm fire alarm bells to the Liberal Party of Canada that this is where we're going now. This is clear that there is a wave of momentum across this country for both change and for Conservatives. And if Pierre Poilievre of the Canadian Conservative Party had endorsed John Rustad and the BC Conservatives, they would have won a clear majority. But there's a lot of politics at play, and there's a lot of reasons for not doing that. But they still did really, really well against the party, the NDP, that really it was their election to lose. They should have won this handedly in the woke capital of Canada and the left-wing headquarters of our country, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because there's people in this country who want things to go differently, tired of people who disagree with having to step over people on the sidewalk who are passed out, yonked out, whatever, and trying to get where they're going. People who think that's not a good policy, finding discarded needles and other things in parks, near play structures, near schools, and in communities and houses. It's not working. None of this is working. It's time for a change. It's time for new, different leadership, different perspective, and I'm glad of all the things and the funny result that this is. The thing that makes me the happiest is the candidates, the so-called freedom candidates who got elected in the BC Conservatives, who the NDP and their friends in the media, in quotations, worked really hard to defeat and didn't defeat as many of them as they would have hoped. A lot of them got in. People who hold different opinions about things that you're not allowed to ask questions about in Canada. Things like the orthodoxy of paying taxes to the sky to stop the weather, the orthodoxy of our social beliefs, and so on. And it's okay to have a different perspective. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you some sort of extremist like they're labeling them. You know, go through some of the progressive woke media. You'll see headlines like, far-right extremists elected in BC, the end of an era. And by the way, or the beginning of a dark era. A dark cloud has been cast above our drug paradise here in BC, where we like stepping over people yonked out on the sidewalk, and where everything is failing, and people, only the very richest can flourish in the province of British Columbia. But that's, to a socialist, that's a good system, because they're champagne socialists, limousine liberals. They enjoy to go to their fancy dinners and galas and spend, make lots of money, and then feel good about these so-called, these socialist policies in name only, but they'll never give a dollar of their own to anybody else or ever put in the work to help anyone themselves. These are just people who are doing this to feel better. That's it. It's not about making a positive difference or a good change. And this spells disaster in the next election cycles, especially for the federal election cycle, whenever that will be, probably next year. And the Conservatives are going to win big time. This is a good day. There's a lot of funny stuff. You know what? Before we go, I'm going to read you a post here from the subreddit, the BC subreddit. Here's a post that somebody said in their seething monologue. Somebody commented, "Same. My wife and I already agreed that if Canada becomes the same human garbage fire as the USA, then we are looking to move off the continent to a pro-choice, pro-woman, pro-LGBT, and pro-mental health addiction services country. The Netherlands is looking like a good option." I guess they never heard of Geert Wilders or any of that. They're not really these are not serious or informed people. They're emotional maniacs. Guess the reality is I need to start really doing some meaningful research. I refuse to pay taxes to a government hell-bent on demonizing everything that I am as a human. That's insane. So that's fantastic. You know what? This is showing that people who wanted to, local makes the real change. This person wants to opt out of paying taxes. Where have we heard that before? Isn't it funny how on both ends it's kind of a horseshoe, just connects back together. This is a good result. It's funny. It challenges the far left rule in BC, and it sets the temperature of things to come in this country. The future is bright. I think we're winning. Have a great day.